the pitches before, I imagine. Everybody kind of knows what it is, roughly. It's crime noir gaming. So in kind of a modern city, it's meta-American. So it's got pieces of Detroit. It's got all the worst pieces of Detroit and Los Angeles and San Francisco and New York City and things like that. And it's pretty easy. Grand Theft Auto, the RPG, in a lot of ways. You can play Grand Theft Auto, or you can play a 70s cop. If you want to play Starsky and Hutch, you can. If you want to play something by Michael Mann, you can. If you're a Training Day fan, you can do that. And if you want to go really crazy and play something like Out of the Past with it, you can. Some of you folks who had a chance to play in Lot 9 today would have seen how you'd play that, where one guy pulls out a 38 and everybody goes, that's exactly it. So it's going to be a really fun product. I'm really jazzed to get it out. But
that's in banner form because we'll have it hanging at the booth tomorrow.
The book that's not actually to life size of the book.
Yeah, the book will not be in fact that large. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Coloring book version. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So actually, the last thing we're going to talk about is Spycraft 3rd. But first, we wanted to take it to you and ask you if you had any questions, or if you were looking for information on any projects that we're not talking about. We can only talk about so much, but we can give you updates on some stuff.
Yeah, I guess some other things for next year, since we have planned beyond December.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the next book in Fantasy Craft line will be Gear for the Ages. So it's lots of stuff. It'll be more magic items and things like that.
The organization rules will go in that book.
Right.
Contrary to someone's inaccurate post on the boards.
Whereas Spellbound is really going to focus on magic and people, like the characters who cast spells. Magic stuff will be in Gear for the Ages, along with a bunch of other cool things. So there's been a lot of stuff coming out of the community. There's been a lot of stuff coming out of kind of just our own brainstorming about this. And so I think we're going to do a fully featured, and that will also lead to a modern gear book that will come out and be fully compatible with Spycraft and 10,000 Bullets. So
Gear and gadgets.
Yes, and that's probably as far as we want to talk about the schedule, other than the licenses are set to come out next year.
Next summer.
What's the guy's name in the Facebook page? I want to deliver him a specific message.
Who?
The guy who comes in and goes, Miss Barn, all the time.
Oh.
And then leaves like he
I do not remember.
Yeah, anyway,
honestly.
it's coming next year.
Yes.
Dude, it's coming next year.
Yeah, next summer.
So, yeah, that's our plot right now. So
he's our resident dorm mouse. He just shows up.
and runs. But anyway, it's happening. We've got we're establishing the system for it again this fall. So it's a very busy year for us at Crafty Games.
We just had meetings today actually about getting a line developer on for it. So it just in case any of you were wondering how 2 people are going to do this, they're not actually. We're hiring staff to make this kind of thing happen. So.
Yes, so we're not going to quite be the cockroach we've been so proud of being for all these years.
We'll be 2 cockroaches.
La cucaracha.
With a busted leg.
Yes. So, questions about the line?
Anything that's not Spycraft 3rd related, because we'll cover that last. Anything? No?
Fantasy Craft, the Gear of the Ages, the organization rules, is that going to cover like player-run organizations as well, or just...
Both. Yeah,
okay.
How to build them and how to run organizations that already exist, yeah.
Yeah, well, part of why we held them off, they were originally going to be in the Adventure Companion. I've written a draft for them. We want to be sure that they line up with the modern stuff as well. Right. So yeah, the idea is that you could create your own adventuring guild and work out of that, use that for resources, and build upon that by spending reputation or some other resource into it. Right. Or you could have one pre-established.
And we'll link it to the reputation rules that we already have, so your guild will be able to have a holding and all of those sorts of things. We'll connect.
They'll function in some ways in terms of what they have. They'll be kind of like a character that has its own things and that people can access and plug into. So, yeah, great.
What's up next after Spycraft? I mean, is it...
In terms of the next Mastercraft product?
Correct, yeah.
We know what it is, but we can't talk about it yet. There is something coming in 2012. That's all we can say.
Right. So next year, in terms of Mastercraft, it's going to be Spycraft 3rd Edition, and it's going to be 10,000 Bullets as the two we're kind of going back and doing modern stuff. We'll keep doing Fantasy Craft as well.
Yeah. So Spycraft and Fantasy Craft are both going to be ongoing lines for us. We're not leaving either line anytime soon. You're not going to see significant breaks. between books with those, no more than a few months. As we go, as the lines grow, there will be periodic periods of breaks for them, but they'll always be around. 10,000 Bullets is a little bit different.
Right, and that, no problem. So as with 10,000 Bullets, we are looking at that as sort of right now we're planning for it to be a line of between probably 4 and 6 books, because it's a city.
It's a more compact topic.
Right.
Yeah.
So as opposed to Espionage, which has tons of eras and tons of, there's so much to work with there. And so, if 10,000 Bullets proves to be popular, well, we are not invulnerable to giving people what they want.
Yeah.
So
if it took off, we would continue to do it.
Right.
The licenses are very similar. Right now, we have plans for the core books. We're going to put core books for both of those out. If they do really well, we have plans for supplements, but whether we're actually going to go into supplements with those really depends on those first books. So.
yeah, exactly. So
anything else? We were asking questions about stuff that isn't related to Spycraft 3rd, because we're about to go into a big Spycraft 3rd discussion after this. So if you got anything, hit us.
I'm really having a hard time grasping the overall engine of the Spycraft 2.0 from last year. You know, we've really been trying to get the sequence of things figured out, and it's just it's been awkward. So I was just kind of coming to sit and I didn't know what all you guys were going to be going over. So.
great. Well, that's a great topic to discuss, because that's partially why we're here to talk with everybody today. Because Spycraft 2 is a really big system, and we've heard that a lot. And the longer we go, the more we hear it. I think the older the game gets, the more we hear it. That doesn't mean we think the game is flawed, but it is hard for people to get into. How do you?
Yeah, it's a big barrier of text.
Right.
And there are a lot of interconnected systems. And so one of the lessons that we took away from Spycraft 2 is that Spycraft 3rd needs to be a lot more modular. The systems need to actually interact in ways where we can lift one out of the system in a much cleaner way, in a much more obvious way, without actually having the rest of them suffer for it. And also, the game just can't be as big as it was before, which is one of the many reasons that we're actually focusing exclusively on espionage this time around. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'd love to hear where you are. Some of the things you're hanging up on, like
things like there's some skill checks, just some common things I find players going to do that I'm not sure. I'm torn between skill checks and stuff, and then the feats tree. Just kind of understanding how people progress, in their feats tree, and then how that it's kind of had a hard time leveling characters.
Okay.
Big time, really figuring out their class skill levels and stuff, and fitting that in with their feats.